Hello, my fellow viewers and subscribers. This is Superchocolatemilkshake, and I am here talking about some updates that I did to Scaling Up the Hero, the GMTK Game Jam project that I have submitted of recent. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you that it's not finished, and it does not represent the final product. There is going to be a bit more of a roadmap for the final product towards the end, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, what I did to update the game is I basically improved the physics and fixed the camera. You could probably see with the video footage that I recorded right here. I also fixed the tutorial just a bit too, to be a little more dynamic. However, I do think that the jump is a little bit hard to read, but I don't think it's like too hard. I mean, at least it's not like impossible to understand anyway, because all you gotta do is just press W to hold on to a ledge. Anyway, and yes, I made it so that it's just a toggle instead of being the press and hold like it originally was. Another thing that I also did was that I also added some loading screens. Now, of course, one loading screen happens to be so quick that honestly, it doesn't even exist. But the other one, well, there's an important reason why I added that one. The reason why that loading screen exists is primarily to solve a soft lock that I found after I submitted the game and after I managed to get the game to work again. And basically it was when, if you collect one item before it spawns in and collect the other item after it spawns in, well, it will give you the teleporter. But if you collect the third item, the teleporter will destroy itself and will no longer exist. So this is why the loading screen exists. It prevents that from happening. But also, I fixed the teleporter too. As you'll see here on the screen, basically it will allow the teleport to remove, or at least it will have an aiming reticle that is now officially controlled by your keyboard, which is a much better improvement over having to do it dynamically with your mouse, trying to do it as quickly as you possibly can while jumping. So yeah, I kind of removed a little bit of challenge with that, but don't worry. I also altered the level just to make it a little bit harder too. So yeah, you're still likely to fall to the ground. And thankfully, due to the better camera controls and the better controls altogether, honestly, it makes for a rather satisfying movement rather than, well, how it used to be. Another thing that I also decided to add onto this game was a speedrun timer. Well, next to the end screen, of course. For the end screen, basically, I just kind of threw some text together and I put it up on the screen and put it on display because really, I didn't have time to finish the overall thing, and I'm going to be getting ready for the month of scares here real soon, so that's going to be eating up most of my time. But in the meantime, I'm also going to be I also added a speedrun timer for if anybody really wants to try to speedrun the 2 levels that I currently have, they are more than welcome to do it. Like, try to beat my time of at least 42 seconds at least. But anyway, so overall, I guess that's all I have to say about updating this game. Oh, yeah, besides the fact that I also fixed a Linux exclusive bug. And primarily this was something about not having the proper libraries to play the game. So I decided to fix this bug by adding a little bit of an installer script into the Linux file. So if it doesn't run due to the lack of libraries, then of course just run the installer script and everything should be just fine. It will take from the Linux repositories, so don't worry about viruses. It is officially safe. It is officially okay. Anyway, so what's next for my game? Well, first of all, I'm going to be removing all GMTK branding. I'm probably just going to be restarting the project all over again from a brand new clean slate because, well, let's face it, the file was getting kind of messy. You could definitely tell if you go browsing through the, oh, what was I called it again? Oh yeah, the source code. But of course, yeah, the file was starting to get a little bit messy, and honestly, the GMTK branding probably should not exist on the final product. I also want to add a few more levels. I also want to add more items to the roster, including maybe like the jetpack that I discussed and maybe some other items to defend yourself. Enemies, that would also be helpful too, especially for the items that you need to defend yourself with. And I also want to add a bit of a crafting mechanic, which, of course, would add a little more depth rather than just going like, oh yeah, you gathered all the pieces, here's your prize. And instead, it would be like, okay, yep, now you gathered all the pieces, now you got to put them all together, you know? Or you got to put the proper pieces in order to get it to work, you know? Because, I mean, I might have it spawn randomly around the mountain, you know? Anyway, another thing that I also need to do is I need to add more sprites and fix some of the current graphics that I have. I also would like to add some background to I would like to add some background scenery too, so it's no longer just a blue void right behind the wall. And honestly, I also kind of want to make the rock wall look a little more varied. That's going to take a little more time and experimentation than I currently have. And especially with the fact that the month of scares is coming up, I really do need to focus a little bit more on that than doing this at the moment. Since the month of scares has a lot of videos, and I haven't really gotten started on all of them that I really wanted to get started on. Oh shoot, that's probably me. That's my bad. Anyway, so overall, I also need to add sound effects and music, and I also need to add a menu. So yeah, there is a few more things that I got to do before the game comes into final release. But hey, look, it's a roadmap, and it's something that promises stuff for the future, and I will promise you that I will try to get back to this game as soon as I possibly can. So in the meantime, if you like this video, please be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. And I'll see you all in the next video. This is Superchocolatemilkshake, signing off.